Okay, what if you knew what days would be your last day alive? That's the heart-stopping premise of Adam Silvera's book called They Both Die at the End, which has captivated millions, dominated bestseller lists, and now, a decade later, is still sparking life-changing conversations. Now the third book in this series is called The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. It's hitting shelves and it marks the next chapter for the author and his emotionally charged work. Let's welcome author Adam Silvera. Good to have you, Adam. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Desiree.
Okay, so Adam, please tell us about your newest book, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. I feel like we know the plot already, so tell us where it fits in the series.
Yeah, so it's the third book of the They Both Die at the End universe, and it takes place in a society where an organization called Deathcast can predict when people are about to die, and just the day, nothing else, not how it happens or what minute exactly. And every novel follows a different pair of star-crossed lovers who are facing death in the face, like in the wake of a Deathcast call. But in the case of this third novel, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, it's actually about a boy who is struggling with the will to live and wishes Deathcast would call him. And we meet him at a point where he's ready to try to take his own life. And thankfully, he is saved by another boy who happens to be the heir to the Deathcast empire, who wants to make sure that he stays alive and wants to teach him how to live his best life.
And I mean, your work has resonated with people. You made the New York Times bestseller list. So did you ever imagine your work would resonate so deeply with readers worldwide?
I think you always hope that it's going to connect with readers and that, you can hit a bestseller list and stuff like that, because that would signal that, oh wow, readers are picking this book up, right? But it's one thing for readers to pick up a book and to have a strong week of sales and hit a bestseller list. It's another thing for the book to have a lasting impact on people. Yes. My readers grieve these characters like they do real people, and they tell me about how they're crying about them 3 weeks later after reading a book, and that's really special to hear. I work so hard to make these characters feel like real people, so it's really touching.
I mean, to that point, too, your readers have grown up with your books, many of whom were teens, young adults when they first read your first book release. So what's the most surprising way their reactions have maybe even shaped your writing?
I think I've just been encouraged to stay vulnerable. The only reader whose perspective I can actually control and reactions I can control is my own, right? So I try to make myself my first reader, because at the end of the day, if everyone else hates the book but I love it, then I succeeded in that way, right? And I've been rewarded while writing for myself, and something that's going to be meaningful to me to connect with others so deeply on that. So I just have I've stayed strong with that this past decade, and knowing that if I create honest work, that it'll reach the right people.
And Adam, your book sparks big conversations about life, loss, and love. So what's one message you hope readers take away from this latest installment?
Yeah, I really just, I think we don't talk enough about mental health and how difficult it is, especially around young people. And I think there's a lot of stigma around it still, and especially around suicide ideation. And, so on one end, I want people to really understand the headspace of someone who is going through these struggles, the ups and downs, because I think sometimes it can feel really contradicting, where it's oh, how can someone who wants to die also be afraid for their lives, right? And that's something that I've dealt with personally. And while on the other hand too, I think sometimes people don't know what it's like to live in this headspace, and I want to give them some tools on how to be a better support for someone in their life who might be struggling at this capacity.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the work that you're doing and the conversations that you're cultivating as well, Adam. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more information. A pleasure having you on the show. Adam Silvera's book, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, is available at book retailers everywhere. You can find out more by heading to adamsilvera.com.